In any case, the Democrats are struggling to come up with the rationale for opposing this thing. So they've tried the Seth Meyers, it's a brazen heist. They've also tried the tax cuts just don't do anything. Right, so we've heard this from a couple of Democrats saying, well, you know, at the lower end of these tax cuts, some families are only getting back like $80 a month. Is that really a lot of money? Is that enough to do anything? Does that even matter? It matters to the person who's getting back $80 a month. And it's not nothing. It's better than not having $80 a month. Let's put it that way. My favorite defense of opposition to the tax cut comes courtesy of one of the worst representatives in Congress. I've actually openly supported his opponent. I generally don't support politicians in races, but I've openly supported his opponent in California. This guy is Ted Lieu. Ted Lieu is the congressperson from out here somewhere in the city, in like La Brea area. And Ted Lieu says that this bill will harm Americans. Here was his initial statement on it yesterday.
Democrats are not opposed to tax reform. We're opposed to harmful tax reform. And this bill is going to harm America by exploding our deficit by $1.5 trillion. It's then going to require automatic cuts of $25 billion to Medicare. And most of the benefits of this tax bill go to the super wealthy.
Okay, so all of this is happy talk. Then he got to his real point. His real point he made on Twitter. And it is demonstrative of how some people on the left think about the role of government and what it's supposed to do. Here's what Ted Lieu tweeted, quote, GOP underestimates how people feel when they know others got a better deal. If Sally gets a tax cut of $380, but others get $200,000, she will be upset. And wait until Joe finds out he's getting a tax increase for residing in California. That's why tax bill is so unpopular. Human nature. Deep thoughts there from Ted Lieu. Human nature. Now, here's the thing. I agree with Ted Lieu. I agree. Human nature is for us to be jealous jerks. That is our nature. Our nature is to see the guy next door with the Lamborghini and think, not if I work harder, maybe I too will have a Lamborghini, which is totally acceptable, but that guy has a Lamborghini. I'm going to go key it. Right? Or that guy has a Lamborghini. What if I stole it? Right? That is human nature. Right? We are a jealous crew. We are not kind. The green-eyed monster of envy gets us all. This is why there is an explicit commandment in the 10 that specifically deals with this. That thou shalt not cover thy neighbor's ass, Al Franken. Right? That you shall not covet your neighbor's property. That's the idea. Okay, it's actually breaking a commandment to fall in with Ted Lieu's logic here. This is why we have created institutions to prevent us from acting out on our jealousy. The founders also believed that we were jealous and that we wanted each other's stuff. And so instead what they said is, we will set up a system where you can't take each other's stuff. There will be checks and balances. There will be people who can vote against you. There will be institutional barriers to you being able to do this. Ted Lieu apparently believes that jealousy as a motivating factor should decide policy. Right? The jealousy should decide policy. Now, how does he get from the is to the ought? How does he make that jump from people are jealous to we should humor their jealousy by stealing some people's money and giving it to others? How does he get from one to the other? The answer is, of course, that Ted Lieu believes, like so many Democrats believe, that what you're jealous of is actually not that guy's property. What you're jealous of is not jealousy, it's rage at the injustice of a cruel universe that can be healed by an overarching government power. Right? You're not jealous of that guy's Lamborghini. You're angry at the system that allows a douche like that guy with the Lamborghini to have a Lamborghini. And it's the system that's responsible. Your neighbor, he's not responsible for the Lamborghini. The system's responsible. So if we just change the system, you too can have a Lamborghini, or even better, no one can have a Lamborghini ever. Right? This is the illogic here, which coincidentally violates at least two others of the 10 commandments, right? The commandment that says you're not allowed to steal. It turns out that it is still theft if you vote for somebody to go steal something. Right? If Austin and Mathis both come into this room and they say, we just told to vote, there are 3 of us here, the 2 of us vote to take half your salary, this would be theft. Okay, I would also fire them. Okay, this would be theft. The idea that it is not theft so long as you vote for the theft is really stupid. So that violates another one of the 10 commandments. Then there's the third of the 10 commandments it violates, which is the notion of a supreme arbiter of the universe, a God who is just and good. Right? The idea that government can replace God and that government can provide to you all of the necessities that you seek. Right? That is what Democrats are basically saying. That if a poor person exists and a rich person exists, government can come in and heal all woes. So the Democrats are beginning to show their hand, and it's an ugly hand. It really is. I mean, this is ugly stuff that you're hearing from the Democrats. And this is why you have people like Bernie Sanders, whose entire raison d'etre is jealousy, right? Everything Bernie Sanders is about is the idea, the income inequality, this talking point. I've said it many, many times, I'll say it again, that income inequality is not an issue to me so long as my life is getting better. If it's an issue to you, even though your life is getting better, it's because you're a bad person. Really. I think it's that simple. If income inequality is an issue for you, if everyone's life is getting better but income inequality is still an issue for you, it shows a moral shortcoming. If you think income inequality is bad because it breaks social fabric, or you think income inequality is bad because it's a zero-sum game, I think you're wrong, but that's at least arguable. But if you just think that income inequality is bad because you're jealous, or because you think the system is quote-unquote rigged, but you have no evidence the system is rigged, if everyone's life is getting better, but you're angry that everyone's life is getting better, that everyone's life level is going up, but the people at the bottom, it's going up this much, and the people at the top is going up this much, if you're angry about that, that makes you a bad person. Because what you should really be focused on is, are you rising or are you falling? Is the society rising or is the society falling? Bernie Sanders, of course, works from the zero-sum game philosophy of life, in which no one can rise without someone else falling. So, somebody apparently in New Guinea had to pay for Bernie Sanders' second lake house. In any case, here is Bernie Sanders saying that the fact is that we need revenge. I would like pudding. I will stand on the barricades with my pudding. I will stand there with my vanilla pudding. That is the flavor that I prefer after a year of doing Bernie Sanders impressions. I can tell you, vanilla pudding is my flavor. I love vanilla. I am lukewarm on chocolate, and caramel tastes like dog crap. But the pudding I enjoy is vanilla pudding. I will stand upon the barricades like the people in Les Mis, which is not coincidentally also my favorite musical, except for the God Pots. And I will tell you that we need revenge. Revenge on Trump, and I will lead it. I will use my walker, and I will walk over to the White House, and I will beat him with the tennis ball end of my walker. But